This is CD 1 and contains the first half of Disciple 1, Lesson 4.
A truth in the Bible, I hope you will agree with me, is this. God calls everybody. I think over the last several centuries there's been this idea that God calls the clergy, okay, and the rest of you laity, you can just do whatever you want to do. Well, I don't mean to bust your bubble, but that's not true at all. Each of us has a calling on our lives. The truth of the matter is, the word clergy, if you want to learn some language, some Latin tonight, comes from the word kleros. And kleros literally means slice, like a slice of pie. And the idea is this. If you look at the whole pie of ministry, it is true that we clergy are called by God into a special representative style of ministry. But that doesn't mean that, as some churches out there who are dying have said, well, we pay the preacher to do ministry, let him do ministry. The church that says that's already dead. We have a slice of responsibility in ministry, but it's just a slice. Guess where the rest of the pieces of pie have to come from? The word laity comes from the Greek word laos, which means people. People. Before Martin Luther, of course, broke away from the Roman Catholic Church, Halloween Day, 1517, so when he nailed his 95 Theses against the door of the Wittenberg Church, and came out from the Roman Catholic Church, and people who felt oppressed both politically and religiously for centuries now saw him as their champion and literally followed him, and across Europe and later across America, it started what was called the Protestant Reformation. One of the tenets of the Roman Catholic Church, even today, but particularly back in medieval times, was there's this chasm of difference between the clergy and the rest of you people. And the rest of you people can't know God, can't understand God, can't understand His Word, can't make it to heaven, can't make it out of purgatory, and can't understand His Word unless you come to us clergy, and we will tell you what it means. Martin Luther was aghast at that. I mean, he was a part of it for years and years and years, and finally one day as he was reading out of Romans, where it says, the just shall live by faith alone, he said, something not right with this picture. And he began to realize that the true way is not that, is that we come to God by faith in Christ. We don't need a priest. We don't have to go through a priest. We don't have to go through anybody to get to God. Jesus Christ is our high priest. So Martin Luther came out. And one of his major teachings, and it has always been one of the major teachings of the Protestant church. By the way, Methodists and Baptists and Presbyterian and Lutheran and Episcopalian, we're all part of that Protestant group, is we believe in what we call the priesthood of all believers. We're all ministers of the gospel. My calling is to help teach and inspire and equip you so that together we can make a difference in the lives of others. Not that I'm called to minister and you're called to do whatever. That's not biblical at all. So you have a calling upon your life. And your calling is just as significant as anybody else's calling. Thank God everybody's not called to be a minister. Someone said this, this is a little funny joke, okay? Someone said that ministers are like manure. You know, that is, we're better spread out. If you pile us all together, we just stink. How many of you have ever been to annual conference? That's a bunch of preachers together, and sometimes we stink. So we come to a story of a man today who had a unique calling of God, and of course his name was Abraham. God called him, if you want to look on the map here, out of a place called Ur, right down here in the heart of the place where unfortunately we are at war today, Iraq. Really, really interesting, but a lot of biblical happenings we're going to be talking about over the next several weeks happened in modern-day Iraq. But Ur is right here, and Abraham lived there, and evidently he was of a wealthy family. And so God one day called him out of his comfort zone and said, Abraham, I want you to get out of the boat. I want you to get out of your comfort zone. I want you to leave your home and your family and all of that. And then I'll tell you where we're going to go. I'm sure Abraham said, okay, God, fine. You want me to leave? Where are we going? And God said, I'm not going to tell you.